On World News Tonight this Tuesday, Hurricane Bonnie. 250,000 people ordered to evacuate the North Carolina coast.
I want to caution people out there to take this hurricane serious. It's a very strong hurricane.
One of the world's most infamous terrorists is in custody. Will Abu Nidal be brought to justice? Good news for millions of women who suffer from PMS, a simple remedy that may work. And a controversial murder case in Nevada. Should the law punish people who fail to help at the scene of a crime? We'll take a closer look.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Forrest Sawyer.
Good evening. The Barrier Islands off North Carolina's coast are being evacuated this evening. More than 250,000 tourists and residents ordered to safety as Hurricane Bonnie bears down. With the storm expected to be very near the islands by late tomorrow morning, Governor Jim Hunt has declared a state of emergency and a threatened state of disaster. Now here's the latest. Late this afternoon, Bonnie's center was about 260 miles south of Cape Lookout. It is moving north-northwest at about 16 miles per hour. Hurricane warnings are posted from Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, north to Chincoteague, Virginia. In Nags Head, North Carolina, on the Outer Banks, ABC's Bill Redeker. Bill.
Well, Forrest, if we didn't have those satellite photographs, it would be difficult to believe, at least looking at this weather, that a major hurricane is headed this way. It's been sunny, hot, and humid, but not terribly windy today. Still, a mandatory evacuation order has been issued, and most people here are taking it very seriously.
Throughout the day, traffic was backed up for miles as tourists and residents heeded the call to get off the Barrier Islands. Some who fled were too anxious to get away. There were several accidents along the two-lane road. The entire North Carolina coast is expected to be hit by hurricane-force winds tomorrow.
I want to caution people out there to take this hurricane serious. It's a very strong hurricane.
The effects are already being felt as far north as the New Jersey shore. Rescue boats were kept busy picking up swimmers who were swept out to sea by strong riptides.
There's much water coming in that when the tide goes out, it picks the weakest point in the beach and funnels through that way, and that's when the rip current forms.
Residents unpacked old pieces of plywood and boarded up their shops and homes.
We've been through these before.
Hurricane Bonnie graffiti has sprung up nearly everywhere, reflecting the sentiment of many vacationers who've been forced to pack up their bags and go home. Earl and Veronica Daphne arrived last night from Washington, D.C.
I walked on the beach this morning and I nearly got knocked down by a couple of waves.
Bill and Chantel Money had to cut their honeymoon short.
Nice honeymoon. Saturday.
As the hurricane picks up speed and bears down on the coast, local officials are trying to get stragglers to pick up and move, warning help may not be available when the full brunt of the storm hits.
That said, it appears that most people are, in fact, taking this quite seriously. This island is quickly being evacuated. As you can see behind me, perhaps not even sightseers are left behind. Forrest?
Bill Redeker at Nags Head, North Carolina. Thank you, Bill. Now, former director of the National Hurricane Center, Bob Sheets, who is now an ABC News consultant, joins us again tonight from Orlando. And once again, if you would, Bob, walk us through where the hurricane is now and where it's going.
Okay, Forrest, it's continuing to move on this northwest course and expected to turn toward the north, but since it hasn't turned, they actually extended the warnings a little farther south now to Cape Romaine. That's just north of Charleston all the way up to Cape Henlopen. And now the storm is expected to make landfall somewhere on the North Carolina coast about noon tomorrow, but the winds are already starting to get close to the islands right now as the bands are starting to approach there.
And how strong are those winds and how dangerous does that make the hurricane? Aloft,
they're about 115, 120 miles per hour, but the thunderstorm activity is not real strong in there right now, and that's good news. But as it moves over the warmer waters there, the Gulf Stream, it may start to develop, bringing those strong winds down to the surface.
Bob Sheets in Orlando. Bob, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Forrest.
People on the southeast coast are, of course, no strangers to hurricanes and the destruction they can cause. The community of Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, is one of the places that has been devastated before. So what are they doing differently this time? Here's ABC's Rebecca Chase.
They started evacuating Wrightsville Beach at 11 o'clock this morning, having learned the lessons only hurricanes can teach.
Yes, take it seriously. and get ready.
2 years ago, Hurricane Fran came ashore here, and with its fury of wind and water, leveled beach homes, tore off roofs, tossed boats into front yards, flooded streets with water, and in some places, sand. Across the state, Fran left 17 dead and caused $6 billion worth of damage. This time, the city government passed new rules, and residents were prepared to heed them. Propane tanks, which can become floating bombs in a storm, have to be tied down. Boats are being pulled out of the water, and residents are better securing their homes.
We're doing a lot better job of boarding up than we did last time. We took in a good bit of sand and water through some upstairs windows.
Down the road, the Holiday Inn that was destroyed by Fran is being rebuilt, and there are tough new rules for that as well. New rules that require better construction to withstand hurricanes.
I think it'll be a safe building. It's definitely higher and better space, better place back from the ocean.
An expensive project to refurbish the beach was just completed, and officials here know it may all be lost to this storm.
But having learned the lessons of Fran, people here hope the beach will be their only loss. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
One other bit of weather news over in South Texas today, a scene of overwhelming damage from the floods left by Tropical Storm Charlie. Authorities say dozens of people are still missing. At least 10 are known to have died. The cleanup is going to be a massive job, and the flood crest is still moving down the Rio Grande. In just a minute, some of the day's other news, a fatal bombing at an American chain restaurant overseas. Is it retaliation for the U.S. missile strikes? And escaping the rush, the money, the stress. Where are so many people going to create a different type of life?
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Tylenol PM.
Morning seems so much brighter after a good night's sleep. That's why I love my Tylenol PM. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping. I used to worry about taking something. How would I feel in the morning? And then I tried Tylenol PM. It stops my pain and helps me sleep. So in the morning, I'm rested, refreshed, ready to make the most of my day.
Rest easy. It's Tylenol PM.
It's that time again. The sale you've been waiting for is back, and it's bigger than ever. It's the Ford Factory Authorized Clearance. It's minivan time. And right now, you can get $1,500 cash back or 0.9% APR financing on Ford Windstar, the only minivan to earn the government's 5-star front crash test rating for 4 straight years. Plus, get factory authorized savings on other Ford cars and trucks in stock. Hurry, the Ford Factory Authorized Clearance ends soon at your local Ford dealer.
Mom, the dog! It's just laying on the bun.
Even that dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
Overseas tonight, South Africa, a bomb went off in a Planet Hollywood restaurant, a chain owned by Americans. At least one person was killed and more than 24 hurt in the Cape Town restaurant. And the question everyone is asking, is this another terrorist strike against Americans? Here's ABC's Mike Lee.
First word from South Africa police officials was that the pipe bomb appeared to have been thrown into the restaurant from outside.
One lady was like holding her head and screaming hysterically. One woman was lying on the bench and saying to her and screaming, "Please God, tell me that my legs are still there."
We heard a loud bang behind us, and everything just fell down around us.
There was no clear answer as to whether this attack on an American restaurant was an attack against America. A group called Muslims Against Global Oppression, which demonstrated against President Clinton during his recent visit to South Africa, tonight claimed the bomb was in retaliation for last week's U.S. airstrikes in Sudan and Afghanistan. Others point out that there have been 51 bombings in South Africa this year related to gang violence. The fear, of course, is that this was not gang warfare, but terrorism. Mike Lee, ABC News, London.
Still overseas, we learned today that the Egyptian government has for weeks been holding a man who was once one of the world's most feared terrorists. Palestinian extremist Abu Nidal apparently entered Egypt from Libya. U.S. officials say Abu Nidal has a lot to answer for, but they are far from certain he will ever stand trial. Here's ABC's John McWethy.
He is credited with some of the bloodiest terrorist attacks of the 1980s, massacres in the airports of Rome and Vienna, airplane hijackings of flights from Pakistan and Greece, the slaughter of Jewish worshippers at a synagogue in Istanbul. Now the Egyptian government tells ABC News that Abu Nidal is receiving medical treatment in Egypt. He is widely reported to be dying of leukemia. Other sources say Egyptian authorities have, in fact, arrested him. But Egypt, which is struggling with its own violent radical Islamic groups, is said to be extremely nervous about holding such a well-known terrorist, and U.S. officials are worried Egypt may be tempted to let him go. But there is little the U.S. can do. Despite Abu Nidal's bloody record, he rarely targeted Americans. Officials say there are no U.S. charges pending against him, no secret indictments, which means there is no way the U.S. can legally demand that he be brought here to stand trial. The hope is that some European government will step forward before Egypt gets cold feet. John McWethy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
And when we come back, cutting down on the symptoms of PMS, there may be an easy solution.
Sun is rising. Shine, shine. Looks like a great day.
It's a great day for the comfort and convenience of changing tint Transitions lenses. Indoors, they lighten. Outdoors, they darken. So lightweight plastic Transitions lenses are right in any light. Make the change to Transitions lenses and see for yourself.
It's a great day.
Transitions lenses, right in any light and right for you.
1 minute Maalox.
In hospitals, speed counts. Fast-acting medicines, doctors rely on them. So when patients get heartburn, they get 1 minute Maalox, not Pepcid AC.
Maalox goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepcid AC could take over 45 minutes to affect acid.
1 minute Maalox.
Hospitals count on it.
Shouldn't you?
The #1 choice for hospitals. It's not Pepcid AC. It's 1 minute Maalox.
Now's the time to discover the great selection of all 1998 Oldsmobile cars and trucks available at Discover Days. Consider the Cutlass, winner of the AAA Top Car Award, or the 88, voted a Best Buy 8 years straight by Consumers Digest. Right now, get $1,250 cash back on Cutlass and $2,500 cash back on 88. Or get our lowest financing of the year at 0.9% on all 98 Oldsmobiles. Discover Days at your local Oldsmobile dealer now.
With all we have to do today, does it make sense to keep color on your hair for 30 minutes when you can get rid of the gray in 5? Just 5. Great color, body, and shine in 5 gentle minutes. Just 5. Smart hair color. Works for me.
Looking for cleaner, healthier water? Get the new Pure Plus pitcher. The only pitcher that reduces both chemicals and microorganisms. Get more out of your water. Get new Pure Plus.
Health news tonight. We have all heard that sunlight can cause skin damage, even cancer. Now a new study shows direct sunlight hurts the eyes as well. This week's Journal of the American Medical Association reports that just 1% more time in the sun increases the risk of cataracts by 10%. Researchers suggest dark glasses and brimmed hats. Another study out today suggesting there may be an easy treatment for the mood swings and physical discomfort generally known as PMS. It affects to some degree tens of millions of women. But researchers think they have found a remarkably simple solution. Here's ABC's George Strait.
Each month, as many as 30 million women suffer from the often debilitating symptoms of PMS, which can range from mood swings to severe migraines. Researchers were stunned that simply giving calcium can substantially relieve many of them.
This is a real breakthrough. It's a breakthrough because we realize that most probably this is a mineral deficiency syndrome.
The syndrome can easily be treated by drinking milk, yogurt, or taking calcium supplements. Now, this study was paid for by the makers of Tums, the source of calcium for the study, but auditors say the company exerted no pressure on researchers. Women reported just 4 tablets a day decreased most symptoms by almost 50%. Lydia Sixto said the calcium eliminated some of her problems and made others tolerable.
I have a normal life now. I have no pain.
Calcium is not a magic bullet for PMS in all women, but researchers say it is safe, inexpensive, and effective enough for all women to try. George Strait, ABC News, Washington.
Passages to report retired Supreme Court Justice Lewis Powell, who was in his time one of the most influential justices, died today of pneumonia. He was 90 years old. Powell spent 15 years in the court, casting the deciding vote in several important cases. Perhaps the most famous in 1978, when Powell's opinion provided the basis for affirmative action. He was also part of the majority in the Roe v. Wade decision that established a woman's right to abortion. And word today that actor E.G. Marshall has died. During the 1960s, he starred as lawyer Lawrence Preston in the popular courtroom drama The Defenders. He played so many politicians, lawyers, and judges that people often mistook him for the real thing. E.G. Marshall was 88 years old. And on Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials gained 36 points to close at 86.02. On the NASDAQ market, stocks were up 7 points. When we come back, should a witness to a brutal murder be punished for failing to save the victim? We'll take a closer look.
I know a place.
This is not a country for wimps. We invented the cowboy, the jawbreaker, and the quarterback blitz.
I'll take you there.
We are rough on our cars. So get a Chevy Malibu. It'll go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Transmission fluid, 100,000 miles. Engine coolant, 5 years or 150,000 miles. We're talking tough. The car you knew America could build. The Chevy Malibu.
I'll take you there.
Right, Seattle. I start my job on Monday. I want to do something about my retirement plan.
Okay, no problem.
Shane, Andy, please.
Sounds like your hands are pretty full there. Don't worry about this. A rollover specialist can handle all the transfer paperwork for you and make sure you avoid penalties. We can also help you with the new tax laws.
Oh, thanks. You've been a really big help.
Oh, good. Good luck with the move.
Is there a store between here and the Canadian border we haven't been to? Honey, I'm beat. I'm starving.
Here's something good for you.
Ensure bars?
Complete balanced nutrition. To go.
Ensure bars with protein, 24 vitamins and minerals, including calcium, vitamin D, iron, zinc, antioxidants, C and E, a source of complete balanced nutrition.
Delicious. What's next?
The Canadian border.
I'm ready.
Ensure bars. To your health.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at whether the law should punish people who fail to intervene when they witness what may be a crime. Only a handful of states require a bystander to come to the aid of a crime victim. But most of these laws apply only in certain situations, and they are rarely enforced. So if a person allows a crime to happen, is that person an accomplice? There's a very controversial murder case involving this issue going on right now in Nevada. Here's ABC's Brian Rooney.
Trying to get a new law in Nevada, Sharice's law.
2 Los Angeles radio hosts have taken up the cause for a law that would make it a crime to fail to report a sexual assault on a child.
I don't know who's dropped the ball, but we've got a piece of it, and we're not going to put it down.
Yeah. What sparked this were the actions, or inactions, of a 20-year-old Berkeley student named David Cash.
I don't understand how he wasn't charged with a crime.
About 3:30 a.m. on May 25, 1997, Cash was with his friend Jeremy Strohmeyer at a casino south of Las Vegas. Strohmeyer, seen here in a surveillance video, played tag with 7-year-old Sharice Iverson, whose father was somewhere else in the casino. Strohmeyer followed the girl into the ladies' room. Cash also went in. There he saw his friend assault the girl. Cash left after 2 minutes, and Charisse was later found dead. Strohmeyer was charged with the murder. And by his own admission, Cash did not try to stop the crime, nor did he turn in his friend.
I have done nothing wrong.
Cash once called into the radio show to defend himself.
David, seriously, buddy, what's wrong with you?
Look, I'm very remorseful towards Charisse Iverson, you know. I mean, it's a terrible thing that happened. But I mean, how much am I supposed to sit down and cry about this? I mean, let's be reasonable here.
The girl's mother is outraged by Cash's apparent indifference.
He said himself he was watching him play with my child in certain nasty ways. He's an accessory to the murder.
Charisse's law would not stop someone like David Cash from walking away, but it would make him pay a price if he did. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The biggest question surrounding cases like this one is judging when the moral obligation to intervene should become a legal obligation. Earlier, we spoke with Elizabeth Semmel, a criminal defense attorney in Washington, D.C. Ms. Semmel, if we're talking about something as simple as making a 911 call to police, what is wrong with a law in the books that says you really should do that?
There's nothing wrong with a law that encourages people to act or provisions that encourage people to act. The difference is making it a crime for failing to act, putting people in jail or sending them to prison for failing to act.
All right, there's a penalty attached to your not doing it. If there is, what's wrong with that?
How do we define which crimes we want to identify? Is it a failure to report a rape? Is it a failure to report a petty theft? Who would be subject? If you are under the age of 18, are you immune from that criminal penalty? If you're a woman and don't weigh very much, or a man who doesn't weigh very much, how do we make these distinctions, and how do we decide how to punish? I mean, we're talking about an enormous gray area of behavior for an individual who is a stranger, who has no involvement in the crime itself.
If it is your argument that this is, in a sense, trying to legislate morality, how do you go about getting people to do the right thing?
Well, what we might want to do is think about not making people liable civilly, that is, not punishing them by monetary damages when they do step up and perhaps their negligence or their emotionalism in the situation causes more harm. I mean, remember, one of the reasons people fail to act in a highly emotional situation is they may not be sure what's going on.
Elizabeth Semmel, criminal defense attorney, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It is an issue that is not going to go away soon. When we come back, reverse migration in search of the good life.
Glade votive candle scents, created by nature, captured by Glade.
Since I made my chocolate chip cookies better than ever, everyone's talking.
They're the bestest ever. Wow, they're even better than before.
Hot and fresh in only 15 minutes.
Would you like one?
Hey, you want a green light to eat like never before? I do. Healthy Choice has a whole menu of unbelievably delicious dishes, incredible meals. New chicken stir fry with a crispy fried egg roll. Big hearty handful stuffed end to end with gooey cheese. My favorite, shrimp and vegetables with bow tie pasta and a creamy basil garlic sauce. All around 5 grams of fat. 5. There's no stopping me now. Healthy Choice. Your green light to eat what you like.
At Uniroyal, in order to make a point about our new nail guard tires, we added a few to our test track. Nail guard tires, designed to seal 90% of tread punctures, instantly and permanently. Only from Uniroyal.
When it comes to your health, never compromise, even when choosing a laxative. You need one that's strong enough to work overnight, but also gentle. Try doctor-recommended Dulcolax. Its comfort coating even protects your stomach. Get strong, get gentle, get doctor-recommended Dulcolax.
My wife and kids make me move somewhere. I don't even know the rules. I mean, when I was growing up, I lived around all black people. I didn't even know white people lived in L.A. till I saw something on The Price is Right going, "We're from L.A., Bob." And I said, "Hell you are. I never seen you around here."
Daryl Hughley comes to ABC Tuesdays this fall.
Now a brief review of our lead story. With Hurricane Bonnie bearing down, hundreds of thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate the coastlines of North and South Carolina. Hurricane warnings are posted as far north as Virginia. The hurricane's expected to hit land sometime tomorrow. Finally tonight, the simple life. This is the time of year that people like to enjoy some relaxation, go on vacation, leave a stressful life behind. Well, the past few years, it seems a lot of people are leaving that life behind for good. There is a boom in rural America, and the changes are causing some friction. In Hamilton, Montana, ABC's Jane Clayson.
Bruce Stone has reinvented his life. 3 years ago, the successful real estate developer from San Diego left his high-paying, high-stress job in the big city.
Before, I truly was a little more frantic, a little more keyed up, a little more stressed out over issues.
He, like millions of baby boomers in other states, decided to settle his family in this tiny mountain hamlet. Who would have thought that Hamilton would be so enticing? But it's part of the fastest growing county in Montana and an example of what's going on across the country. Baby boomers used to go for bright lights and big cities. Now it's rural America's time to boom. In the 1990s, 75% of all rural counties have grown.
We call it the rural rebound. It is a significant change from the traditional trend, which is that the urban areas grow and the rural areas are stable or decline.
Which is why some real estate companies are reporting record business. This mega development, complete with championship golf course, is quickly selling off lots, despite price tags of $1 million. Laura Merrill's sales have been up 20% every year since 1990, but she is not necessarily happy about that.
Well, I think the downside to the growth is that we aren't ready for it. We don't have a countywide comprehensive plan to help us manage the growth.
Merrill is not the only one who feels that way. People who have lived here all their lives don't like what's happening to their town.
Western Montana is growing. It's a large influx of people, and it's changing the quality of life here. And it's not necessarily positive.
In many communities, the influx of well-to-do city dwellers drives up property taxes and the cost of housing. And there aren't enough good-paying jobs for people who live here. In Hamilton, for example, 25% of the population earns $15,000 a year or less. Bruce Stone realizes he's contributing to a change here.
I think that the changes will come to the areas like this, and a lot of people don't like them. But how do you close the doors to others?
That's difficult to do as word spreads about cleaner air and a slower pace among city folks searching for a simpler way of life. Jane Clayson, ABC News, Hamilton, Montana.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, the latest on Hurricane Bonnie. I'm Forrest Sawyer. For all of us here at ABC News, a very good night.
Tomorrow, hurricane watchers, insurance companies, loved ones near shorelines. Listen up. A new scientific discovery and an ominous prediction on World News Tonight.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
Spin City has moved to Tuesday, and it's 1 hour later now. We can say things like this.
I kind of like being spanked.
It's spicier.
Put some sugar on it, Daddy.
Sexier. Do me. And there's cake.
You ever had your butt massaged between salad and main course?